how different of a basketball player is TJ Jefferson today compared to when you got him?
Oh, day and night. He's always been a guy that wanted to work hard and try to figure it out, but I give a great deal of credit to he and his family because they knew where he was and where they wanted to see him. And for prospects today to want a red shirt is pretty much unheard of in some situations, but the fact that he didn't want to waste of Europe eligibility to get ready, but he really started figuring it out towards the end of last year, had a really good spring, getting better every day now, and we're excited about him because we just know that he hasn't even scratched the surface to what he can be.
Is JP a guy that you count on maybe a little bit more than you would have 2 weeks ago after Chris left?
Yeah, I think so, but he's a guy that we were counting on anyway. We got a lot of confidence in what he can do, and he's got to figure out the game right now. I mean, obviously it's faster, quicker than anything that he's ever been around, and having to go up against Jonas and Tobey and then guard a guy like Josiah on the perimeter, it's all new for him. It's all new, but he is a guy that we knew from the time we recruited that we were going to need him to help this team, and he's going to have to.
Coach, when you get ready to go on one of these trips, what are 2 or 3 things that you hope to get? Just rotation, see how hard guys play. I mean,
I think when you go on these trips, one is it's as much to reward these guys for their commitment to us and give them an experience that, as you know, they all want to be professional basketball players, and some of them have been to different countries, and you think about the guys that we've had here that are playing overseas. I think it's a great time for them to get exposure to a different country and for people to see them too as well, and realize there's a vast world out there. There's a lot of basketball opportunities around the world, and as much as I'd like them and they would like to play in the NBA, and it's difficult, but we've had some guys I could sit here for an hour and name guys that have gone abroad and done extremely well. But with this team, we've been going at each other here all summer. I think going out and just playing a couple games over there is a good thing, but it's more than just a game on this trip.
How much firsthand experience have you had with basketball in Italy? How much have you seen basketball in person out there?
Well, we've been there. We've recruited so much in Europe through my career as a head coach, and I started recruiting early around the globe back in the early 90s, and because it's just something that we latched onto and we feel good about it. And I love it, to be quite honest with you. I love going there. I love watching. I think the brand of basketball is great. I remember back in the day when we'd play exhibition games and the European teams would come over, whether it would be a national team or whatever, and they were way back then playing the exact opposite of what American teams did back then, and they exposed you because they were playing the way what the NBA has become today, spread offense, and always talking about help defense. They took great advantage of help defense back then, and really looking back on it, I'm really amazed it took all of us college coaches and even pro coaches to an extent so long to adjust to what they were doing, because the way they played has always been so difficult to guard. But now it's a lot of people are just spreading people out, and the game's become somewhat of a positionless game in some ways. But the fact is, it's fun seeing different styles, and I love it. Every chance I get, I'll watch Euro basketball because I think they do have great concepts.
GJ says he's always been an energetic guy, and it was also important for him to be that energetic guy on the bench last year. How much are you looking forward to seeing that energy take itself onto the court?
Well, you know what, I was just talking to a couple of my coaches, and we're going over what we've shot this year as a team, and he's actually has our best shooting percentage from the three-point line, and overall he's shooting over 40% from three. He's in the 50s inside of twos, and what he's got to do, he's got to cut back on his turnovers. I mean, we love him being aggressive. That's a good thing, but he's got to pick and choose that. I told him yesterday a number of different times, you keep getting yourself in trouble by trying to do too much all the time. And I still think that's part of him learning how to play, but the next big step he's got to take is consistency on the defensive end. He's got to figure that out. But, he brings a level of athleticism that we need, and he's good. And so with it, and we just got to get him to put that on the defensive
DJ said that you found a hitch in his shot. When did you notice that, and how receptive was he to advice to fixing that? Obviously, it's successful now.
Well, he's been, you know what, he's always been receptive to coaching. And I go back, you know, his family, I think they are very, very real. And when we talked about it, and, you know, we talk about it all the time during the recruiting process. We're gonna try to start coaching you when we recruit you, so we can tell you what, when you get here, what we think you need to work on. We had talked about it through the recruiting process, and again, I just said, hey, you're good, but you know, if you want to take it to another level, you have to be able to make changes like everybody does in other sports, whether it's basketball, golf, hitting baseball. If there's a little tweak here or there that can help you, you need to be willing to do it, but you have to do it. And he's been one doing it. Anytime a change is made in the shot, because we've got some guys that fight it, or they don't have the ability to concentrate long enough to get it done, because you're really trying to get them to break a bad habit to create a good habit, and it's hard to do. It really is. But I've got to give DJ a lot of credit, because he's stuck with it and it's paying off for him.
Coach, has Freddie been under a little more pressure than he might have been because Zakai has been out? And is there some urgency there that maybe there wouldn't have been?
No, you know what? I really wish that Freddie could have had Zakai all summer. I think it would have helped him so much more. I mean, you know, certainly Santi and Josiah they understand the intensity level you got to play with day in and day out. But he's gotten better. He's starting to understand, I think, really how to play with good players. I think he's starting to realize that he's going to have to make better decisions at the rim in terms of knowing that he can make a play late with his drives. And defensively, he's gotten better. He's got to get a lot better, but he will. And I found out if you can get him angry, he competes at a higher level. So he needs to find out how to get himself angry before he starts. But the fact is, I do think that when Zakai does get back, it'll be one of the best things that will happen for Freddie.
How do you make him angry?
Just keep making him play defense over and over, and tell him he's got to get a stop. And he's competitive. Freddie's very competitive. And you know what? When he first got here, I think, and it goes back accountability. And sometimes I think that when I say get him angry, I think he gets angry at himself, because you know he's set a high standard for himself. And it's just the fact that you have a staff that's continually pointing it out. You know, that's not good enough. You got to be better. You got to, whether it's closing out with your hands up, you know, your stance on the ball, little things like that. Where and like most young guys want to go for the home run, go for the steal. That he actually did it yesterday, and they got burnt. You know, Santi did it one time yesterday. They got burnt. I mean, at this level, if you get it, you better get it. If not, the other team's going to take advantage of it.
What have you seen from Dalton and Jordan in their transition this summer?
Both of them have done well. You know, a lot's been thrown at them. They both have adjusted to it. Both of them defensively again. I mean, we no doubt we put a more emphasis on the offensive side this summer. We felt like we needed to do that with the new guys coming in, and we know that we've got some guys that have proven they can guard, and I think those guys know from talking to the guys that have been here, if they don't guard, they won't play. And I think they know that, and so they're both working at it, and both of them have the ability to do it. It's just a mindset that has to be developed.
Rick, how much better or frequent of a driving team do you expect to be this year?
Well, I think we can be better, because I think we can spread people, because I do think again, right now, I will tell you, I think we got a chance to shoot the ball better and do all those type things, and by doing that, it really opens that court up and opens up those seams that you hope to get into and get down. And then the question is, do we make the right play at the end with it? But I think shooting does that for you. Really, people have to come out there and guard you. Gives everybody makes them a half step quicker, and gives them a chance again to attack those seams where it's a wider seam to get to.
Two more. How beneficial do you think it's been for JP to have a guy like Tobe who's showing the physicality at this level?
Well, I think he probably has some nightmares at night. You know, I mean, because Tobe is, I think he was, Josiah and all those guys would tell you, it's hard to, that's what he does. He's got a great knack for it. He's got to turn that into, when he shoots it himself, he goes, but he's a guy that can, I mean, that's what he does. I mean, it's a talent, and it's something that's God-given, because I tell you what, he goes and gets it. And if you're guarding him, anybody and everybody that has played against him are going to say when that shot goes up, you gotta keep them off the glass, and he would tell you, cause I pick at him about it, so they can talk about it, but I'm only gonna get it. And, if he keeps that mindset, he'll be fine.
Where's the team succeeding the most this summer?
For what?
Where are they succeeding the most this summer, the team?
Well, again, I go back, I think our older guys, again, have done a good job, teaching. I think they've done a good job with our, culture that we talk about, and everybody talks about it, and I think that comes when you get older guys that can say, hey, this is the way we do it here, this is what's expected. I love it when they coach each other on the floor. I like it when the older guys are saying, hey, this is why you gotta be here, those type things, and, I think this time of year, everybody's excited. Every team in the country is excited, obviously, about it. And but I get excited when I see the carryover from our older guys, because they've been there. They've started out with so many of these young guys have, that they're willing to help them and pull them along, because they do know at some point in time we're going to need them.
All right, Coach, thank you.
Thanks, Coach.